In this episode, we sit down with Lily Phenis, owner of Elevate Therapeutic Massage and Bodywork, to talk about her journey into massage therapy, opening her own business, and what she's learned about wellness along the way. Lily shares why nervous system regulation is such a focus in her work, how she approaches each client differently, and why she believes we should all be more curious about our own health. Slow down and join us for the full conversation.
I'm Lily Phenis, and I am a licensed massage therapist. So yeah, this is my space.
Tell me first about Elevate and kind of how that got started.
So I went to school last year. I went to Indiana Academy of Massage in Zionsville. Really, what started it was a few years ago. Let me back up because it's kind of a long way for me to get here, actually. So I'm 27. When I was probably 7 or 8 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a massage therapist. Like that was just, I had my mindset on it. That's what I wanted to do. And all through high school, that was my plan as well. I was homeschooled all the way through. So my mom was able to kind of tailor my curriculum around anatomy because anatomy is a huge part of massage. So that was kind of my thing. And then like a lot of teenagers, I got to graduation, kind of freaked out and was like, I don't actually know if I want to do this. So I kind of backtracked. I did all kinds of different jobs and different career paths. And then a few years ago, I was just feeling really restless. I felt like I just needed something that was more fulfilling. And my husband said, you have always talked about massage. Maybe just start looking at schools. Like just see, just take a look and see. So I found Indiana Academy of Massage. I absolutely fell in love with it. And it was a 6-month course, and it was full time. So I was driving to Zionsville every day for 6 months. It was a time, but I graduated top of my class, which was really really cool because I really struggled as a student in school. So I loved that I was so successful with my massage schooling. So I graduated in October, and then I opened here in December. So it was kind of a quick 2-month turnaround. I passed my boards and my licensing and everything, and
Wow.
opened in December.
So October of 25?
Yeah.
And then December you just opened?
Yep.
So what was that journey from graduating to opening?
It was a lot of paperwork and waiting around to hear back from the state. So pretty much once I had my state board test finished, I was just waiting for the state to get my license through. Then during that time, I filed for my LLC. I was getting my space set up. So, and this has been a process. So it was just kind of a little bit at a time. So
I know that some people or business owners will say that when it comes to like their space, how you really have to think about what you want it to look like for people when they come in.
yes.
And can you describe how you kind of went through that process of deciding what you wanted in you?
Yeah. So I like to think of everything in business from a customer standpoint. So it's like, if I'm the customer, as soon as I walk in, how do I want to feel when I come into this space? What's the energy that I want to feel? How do I want to feel during my session, after my session? What do I want that experience to be like? Like I'm very client focused, is very much kind of my overall vision. But I knew I wanted something that was a little bit softer. It was more welcoming, because I feel like with massage, there's so many different ways that you can go with it, whether you want to be a little bit more hippie, a little more boho, or like a lot of places are much more like clinical, more medical setting. And I was like, I kind of want something that's nice and in between. So it feels professional and a little more upscale, but is also still very like comfortable and homey and welcoming. So I'm big on design. So like this was a really, really fun project to do on top of everything else.
And choosing where you wanted this to be located.
I live in Centerville, so I knew that I wanted to be in Richmond because it's just a really good central location. But also my parents owned this building, actually. So they own Whiston Hunt Construction. And this side of the building used to be a cabinetry showroom, like way, way back in the day before my parents owned it. And so it's just been sitting empty. It's been storage for a long time. So they have like the company gym over here. And this space wasn't being utilized at all. And so I asked my dad, I was like, any chance that I could use this, like just to get started? And I originally didn't plan on being here for very long. Like it was just to use this room and get the business up off the ground, get my client base established. And then like we started adding more and doing more. And I'm like, oh, this is actually like really, really perfect. So that was kind of what and made me stay here for the most part.
The process of establishing your client base.
It actually wasn't as hard as I expected it to be. I kind of came into it with the mindset of like, this is going to take me a few months to really get busy. And initially I was only working here part-time. I only was here 2, sometimes 3 days a week. And then I had a part-time job at a spa in Indy. I was at the Woodhouse Spa in Bottleworks in Indy, which was a really cool experience. But I kind of did that because I was like, I don't really know how it's going to go for the first few months. But I think because there's a lot of massage therapists in Wayne County, especially, that are either getting ready to retire or they're already booked way in advance and they're really difficult to get into. I had a lot of people. Pretty much word of mouth really got me a long way.
Nice.
So yeah, so it really wasn't until I started full time here in April, and I stayed pretty consistently busy. Oh, this is such a huge blessing because I was really nervous to go full time, but yeah.
And talking about what you offer.
Yeah, so that's another good question because like again, massage is like so diverse. Like there's so many different ways that you can go with it, and I've had a really hard time narrowing down, especially because continuing education is a huge thing with massage. So I've had a really hard time narrowing down my continuing education and focusing on specific aspects because it's all so fascinating to me. But kind of my niche right now is fascial therapies. So I'm certified in craniosacral fascial therapy. It's a very long and fancy term, but it actually, like in practice, is very, very simple. But it's a very gentle and non-invasive modality. So it's like you can practice on anyone from babies to elderly to hospice patients to like it's so diverse, and it's very beneficial for a lot of people. So that's kind of my niche right now. But I do a lot of therapeutic deep tissue. I love assisted stretching. Anything that integrates like deep relaxation with very therapeutic work, because nervous system is really my biggest focus. I think everything stems off of that.
Ask why.
I think because I have always really struggled with finding balance, and I'm a very high energy person, and I originally in high school started receiving massage to treat my own anxiety. I had major anxiety, and it was like getting to the point that it was debilitating. Like it was keeping me from doing a lot of things in my regular life, and massage was huge for me for that. So yeah, that's kind of my passion with it. But also, I mean, like our society is like so dysregulated. I think like we're so amped up 24/7, and a lot of people really struggle to be able to bring themselves down. And so I think having massage as a tool to help you find that peace, that calm, so that way you can kind of return to that feeling in your everyday life. It makes that transition easier.
And touching on more of those benefits of massage, I mean, is the focus really, it's nervous system regulation?
For me, I think so, but there's so many benefits. Like it's really good for your lymphatic system, so your immune system. Like I've noticed just in giving more massage, my immune system is stronger than it has ever been, which is amazing. But yeah, receiving massage regularly helps boost your immune system. It's really good for your skin, so it helps with elastin and collagen production. It's great for athletes, so recovery after like really intense workout sessions and games and stuff like that. Maintaining flexibility, circulation is a huge one. But yeah, I think nervous system is the biggest payoff overall.
What do you think sets Elevate apart?
I think my knowledge is probably the biggest one. Even though I'm so new, my education was very, very thorough when it came to the musculoskeletal system. So kinesiology is like my big thing. So I really enjoy working with people who have like alignment issues, so anything to help support them in any corrective therapies. So I see some people for scoliosis. I see a lot of people who have like kind of unanswered sciatic issues. I have one client, she had been to, I think it was 5 different physical therapists. They all diagnosed her with something different and no one was able to get her relief. And she would see them for months at a time and nothing helped. And we did CFT, we did like 2 sessions and she was like, I can walk without pain. I'm like, that is insane. So anything like that it just blows my mind. So that's really where my passion is being able to help people find results where no one else can find the results. So I think that's the biggest thing that sets me apart is like I'm very invested in my clients' well-being just overall. And just trying to offer like as high of quality service as I possibly can. So I try really hard not to stretch myself too thin so that way like I can always be operating at my absolute best for whoever's on my table.
And talking about that, how do you structure your days?
So every day is a little bit different. I try to offer a variety of time slots. So every day is kind of different. Tuesday's kind of my afternoon, evening, later evening for people who can't get here like during the day. But usually I try to do no more than 3 sessions a day because I offer a 60-minute, 90-minute, and then a 120. And I get several 90-minute and 120 sessions, which is great. So because those are the longer sessions are my favorite. But so yeah, anywhere from usually 10 to 15 hands-on hours in a week. So I found that's kind of my sweet spot. I can do more, but any more than that, I start really feeling it. I get kind of tired.
How do you prepare clients when they're coming in? Do you get to know them first? Or do you go over things? Is it very specific?
Yeah. So I have my intake process is definitely more in depth than some people's. Probably a little too in depth sometimes, but I like to think that like the more information I have before our session begins, the better, because that means I'm going to be able to give you a better session. I'm going to be able to tailor it more specifically to each person. So for massage, I've got a 4-page intake form that everyone fills out ahead of time. So it gives me all of your medical history, also any current conditions that you've got going on, anything musculoskeletal, your goals for the session, all of that. And then we go over that before the session begins. So I bring clients into the room, we go over the full intake form, and then I've got some extra questions that I always ask ahead of time. And then my favorite part is always, like, especially for people who are new to me, or people who are brand new to massage in general, I'll walk them through the whole massage process and then kind of tweak from there, like, are there specific areas you want me to work on? Are there areas you do not want me to work on? And then we can kind of talk about what modalities can help support the goal for the session.
What are you learning as you're continuing?
Probably the biggest thing is, even though bodies are so similar, everyone is so unique when it comes to preferences, conditions, just needs in general. Everyone's body is so different and what they respond to. Like there's no one size fits all with health. That's the biggest thing I've noticed.
Do you feel like I think you said this, that you have to continue to do more research?
Yeah, so especially with my clients that for new clients, I really like to give it 2 sessions before I really feel like I understand what might be going on with their body. So like if somebody just comes and sees me once, like that's kind of difficult because I'm still kind of getting to know you, getting to know like what your body needs, what your body responds to. But yeah, research for my therapeutic clients is huge. Especially with the people who have kind of the unanswered conditions. They're like, I don't really know what's going on, what I need to do to fix this. Because a lot of the time too, there are things that they're dealing with that are outside of my scope. So trying to figure out ways that I can support them through other therapies that they're doing as well.
You hope clients take away from their experiences?
Overall, I just want them to be able to walk out my door feeling better than when they walked in. That I feel at the end of the day, as long as they feel better leaving than they did when they arrived, I've done my job.
How have you been able to find support since opening?
Ooh, good question. My biggest support are the people that I went to school with. We all still talk pretty frequently. And my mentors that I had during school. So two of my teachers, I had three overall. We had a few like guest instructors as well, but two of them I still talk to pretty regularly. Anytime I have business questions, massage questions, and just other people that I know in the Wayne County community who are kind of in that health and wellness aspect. So yeah, that's been the biggest thing. And finding other like people that I can partner with. So I partner with Thrive Wellness quite a bit. They send me quite a few clients for very specific therapeutic things. And I'm starting to develop a relationship with cutting edge physical therapy, which is really cool. And a lot of chiropractors. So yeah, I mean, it's really cool how interconnected all of these different aspects of health really are, which I always get very excited about because I love collaborating. That's something I get really excited about.
Was that something? Have there been any challenges or surprises since opening?
Honestly, the biggest challenge, it's a challenge and it's not a challenge. What I guess surprised me is kind of the lack of regulation around massage and massage practices, not just in Wayne County, but Indiana as a whole. Our legislature is very outdated when it comes to massage. So that's something I really want to get into eventually, is kind of advocacy for closer regulation, because it's a public health risk. It genuinely can be. And so I have not really been impressed with the checking in, and because that's something I take very, very seriously, is like cleanliness. That is a huge thing for me. So knowing how little I've been checked in on kind of makes me concerned about other places and that probably don't take cleaning as seriously as I do. That's a huge concern of mine. But that's honestly been really the biggest challenge, is kind of, working with that fine line of like advocacy and business. So
You think that's something you'll want to do more of?
eventually, yeah. I don't know what that will look like, but that is something that's definitely on my radar, is like, I feel like that's something that really needs attention.
So what would you tell people who are looking at massage therapists or looking for a place to go? Other things they can look out for?
Yes, so definitely looking into if the therapist you are wanting to go see is licensed. That's a huge thing, because it's very tricky, because there are ways to get around not having a license. So, I mean, it's pretty much as long as someone is not calling themselves a licensed massage therapist, they can pretty much get away with practicing massage, which can be dangerous because it is possible to hurt people with massage. It's kind of hard, but it's possible. There are a lot of people who do get injured from massage. The biggest thing is tools. So anybody who practices hot stone, like, you have to be trained well in hot stone to not burn people. And that's the largest risk associated with massage, is getting a burn from hot stones. So, and I've unfortunately received a bad hot stone massage before, and it's not fun. So I completely understand how people can get injured very easily with that. So it's mostly on the tools side, and anything that involves heat or cold therapy. So yeah, licensing is a huge one. And you can look that up in the Indiana State database. The licensing is through IPLA. So you can look that up. So yeah, licensing is a huge one. And there's kind of some signs that kind of give it away too. So, I mean, you kind of just have to go with your gut feeling and use your best judgment. But yeah, It's unfortunate because if you go to a massage parlor or like an illegitimate place, it kind of gives the rest of the massage therapy world who is clinical and is very serious and is professional, it kind of gives us a bad rep. So like that's the biggest downfall, I think. And a lot of massage parlors, this is also something that I get really passionate about. A lot of the illegitimate massage parlors are fronts for human trafficking, which is very, very serious. And we don't like to think about that in our hometown, but like it happens. It's here, and it's very, very unfortunate. But that's the other thing too, is like it's giving space for these people to be abused. So that's a really ugly side of it.
What would you tell people who are wanting to get started or make that career switch? Was that scary for you?
It's mostly the like being afraid and doing it anyway. Like, so I was very, very fortunate that I was able to quit my job and to pursue this school full time. There's a lot of programs around the state for massage that are not full time. That was just the route that I chose to go. The others just take longer because they work well for people who have to maintain a job while they go to school. But yeah, it was the best decision I ever made. It really, really was. So yeah, I highly recommend Indiana Academy of Massage just because the executive director is Mariah Ross, and she is phenomenal. She's so phenomenal. She has amazing career history and is so incredibly knowledgeable, and I think that's what makes the biggest difference is going somewhere people really know their stuff. And I think that's a huge difference. But yeah, just having a great support system. My family, my husband was very, very supportive of me during school because like I mean, Zionsville. So like I had to leave at 7 every morning and I wasn't home until like 6 every night, Monday through Friday. And then my Saturdays and Sundays were pretty much I'm studying and I'm resting. So I was pretty much good for nothing for those couple of months. But yeah, so support system's huge. And kind of honestly, a lot of it's discipline and willpower and just being able to say, I can do this, I'm going to do this, and kind of seeing where it goes from there.
Going forward, are there any future plans that you have that you want to share?
Oh, I'm always planning something. For right now, I mean, the most near future is I just really want to keep expanding what I have here and really getting because I have a very good client base, but I want to get a lot more consistency across the board. So people that want to work with me long term on a regular basis, that's my biggest thing right now is kind of retention. And continuing to further my continuing education. That's another big thing. Because I really enjoyed schooling way more than I thought I would. And so that always learning something new, that's my biggest thing. So, and kind of combining the two. So however I can support my retention with my clients. But for right now, I'm kind of taking it in like 2-year increments. So I've got like long 5-10 year plans, but those could change all the time. So I try to rein those in a little bit.
The work that you're doing, I mean, you're working with your hands and, not technology that much, talking about the difference there and the difference, how that has impacted you.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Huge. So a lot of my background is in bookkeeping originally. So going from sitting at a desk, what that's looked like over the years has kind of changed because I did a couple different types of bookkeeping jobs. But more recently, before I went to massage, I worked at Five Arch in Centerville. So I was there. I was a front of house manager full time for a couple of years. And so I was on my feet all day, every day. So that wasn't new. But what was so different about the transition is it was honestly like developing the strength in my forearms and my hands, but massage is very, very physical. So like really strengthening. I do so many lunges. Like that is like, I did not realize going into school that that was way more than, you know, you always think about like, oh, you use your hands all day, every day. And it's actually a lot less hand work and like squatting and lunging and really using my leg muscles. So I really had to be very careful about making sure I take good care of my body. So I have a pretty strict self-care routine that I have to stick to. And making sure I stay on top of my exercise and eating well, eating really well is a big, big part, staying really well hydrated. So it's been really good for me health-wise because I have to be so conscious about my health now. And it kind of makes me sad too that like all of those years prior, I wasn't taking my self-care so seriously, and it took this big job change to be more invested in my health. It's like, that didn't have to be that way. You know, I could have been this serious about my health this whole time, and so I'm very glad for it now.
Can you touch on your self-care routine?
Yeah, so I love self-care. Anything self-care, I'm down for. So on the exercise portion, I'm also a dance teacher, so I do kind of get some built-in exercise as well. But so yeah, a lot of cardio. So I do a little bit of weight training. That's mostly for like my forearm strength and my upper body strength. But I do a lot of body weight training. So I love yoga because it's good for stretching, because stretching is hugely important. But I like to run. That's kind of it on the exercise side. As far as nutrition goes, I'm pretty big on whole foods. That is my jam. But I'm also, this was another part. So after I finished school and everything, I had some allergy testing done and some food sensitivity testing done. So I'm gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, not necessarily by choice. That has made me be way more conscious than I ever was before. So yeah, so on the diet side, I'm a little more specific than most people probably are. But yeah, so whole foods is kind of my best friend. But yeah, and electrolytes are a game changer. So electrolytes, drinking plenty of water. So yeah, that's kind of it for like full body wellness. Self-care though, I love to do hot Epsom salt soaks. Those are like life-saving. I do a lot of CBD cream. I usually like to try to take a couple hours every week, regardless of where it is, and just try to do like focused self-care time. So like I do a lot of cupping on myself, especially like upper body, because I get so sore and tight up here. So I'll do like cupping, I'll do my skincare, I'll do my Epsom salt soak, I'll stretch, I'll drink a ton of water, eat a really good meal, and just having that like focused time to myself is really, really big. And just not overloading myself every day, making sure I'm pacing myself throughout the day, and not overdoing it, because it's so easy when you have so many people who are like, I'm in so much pain, I need a massage right now, and it's like, any chance you could come tomorrow instead of today, because I'm already 3-4 sessions in. So like trying to pace and holding really healthy boundaries is huge.
I was going to ask about the boundaries, if that's something that you have to really set for yourself.
Yeah, I have to be really, really careful, because I find, especially when it comes to people that I know, that's really hard, because it's like, I want to help everybody. So yeah, I've been really careful about making sure I hold boundaries for, it doesn't matter who it is, you know, immediate family and my regular clients. Everybody gets the same.
Is there anything that you want people to know, or like a main message that you think people should know?
Be curious. Be curious about your own health. Pain is not normal, and also pain has nothing to do with age. That's the biggest thing, because I get a lot of people that, especially like women who are perimenopause, menopause age, and a little bit older. I get a lot of women that are like, it's just age, and it's like, but it doesn't have to be that way. Like pain is not normal no matter what your age is. Pain is never, never normal. And I feel like we've been kind of desensitized to pain, and pain is not normal. So that's my biggest thing. Be curious about your health. Pain is not normal.
How do you prepare yourself for clients?
Good question. So, kind of two different things. So I like to get here a little bit early. I try to be here about an hour-ish early before my first client, just so I have plenty of time to prepare the space, because I feel like once my space is prepared, then I'm kind of settled and ready to go, because there is nothing worse than feeling rushed. So if I'm rushed the day of sessions, it's like I really struggle to get focused on the person, because it's like as soon as I step in the room, like my only focus is the person, so everything else gets left at the door. Really just making sure that I've been taking good care of myself so that I'm prepared, mentally, physically, and then like right before I go into the room, I kind of have my little ritual out here. So I get a drink of water, I close the curtains, so that way when we come out of the room, it's not like, oh my gosh, so bright. I lock the door, I wash my hands, I do a few cycles of breathing, and then I knock on the door and I'm ready to go. So that's kind of my pre-ritual that I always do. But then at the beginning of every session, I always like sit on my stool at the head of the table with my client, and I kind of use that moment to ground and prepare, and then also kind of to help the client ground as well, so they can be really well present at the session.
Has that changed since getting started?
Not really, because that was kind of something that we were taught to do in school as well. So we started every session with, I invite you to take 3 deep breaths. That was how we started every session. And that was also part of the opening ritual for working at Woodhouse as well. And so like, I just really liked that practice, so I kind of adopted that here, and it kind of looks different for every single session depending on the person.
Are there other things outside of this area of your life that you enjoy?
Oh, so many. I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none, is what I've always called myself, because I enjoy a lot of things. So anything art related. So I love painting, sewing, crocheting, gardening, theater. I love music. I practice. I wouldn't say I play, but I practice a couple different instruments. I love to sing, so music has always been very, very big to me. I love writing. I love yoga. I have 2 dogs, so I added up my dogs. I spend a lot of time with them. I like to enjoy any little thing that I can find joy in this.
As always, thank you so much for listening to this episode. You can find more stories just like this one on thehometownheadlines.com. Stay kind, stay connected, and keep looking for good.